I'm a very happy man today. And why did I say that? Because I have peace. Financially, I'm very stable because I have my own business. My love life is blessed because I'm married to a woman of God. Spiritually, I'm very strong. I overcome any problems that may appear before me. But it wasn't always like this. It was very tough at the beginning. When my first marriage broke down, I became depressed. I became alcoholic. I was hooked on alcohol, drugs, gambling, all kind of addiction. And that got me into a lot of trouble. I ended up owing people 43,000 pounds, which I couldn't find a way out of that. And that's how I came to the church. And I got an immediate help, advice, what to do, how to use my faith to overcome all this problem, that God could help me. I said, okay, I was ready to do anything. So the first thing I started doing was to make a chain of prayers to be set free from whatever spirit was behind all these problems. So I was coming on Fridays for my deliverance, and Monday for my financial breakthrough, to be free from all these debts, and Wednesday to get to know God, to learn the word of God and how to put it into practice. And I was doing this for years. But what I noticed was within the first 7 weeks of the chain of prayers, I gave up gambling. And the drug, I was not too eager to go for drugs because I could see the improvement in my financial life. I got a good job, and because I was sweating for this money, I didn't feel to spend it on drugs. I was reluctant. I gave up alcohol. The last thing I gave up was cigarette. So that is through practicing what I learned from the church, making purposes of faith. The most important thing to really set you free is sacrifice. You should be ready to sacrifice. I've come a long way, but I will advise people who found themselves in the same situation to seek for help, and you have nothing to lose. You can only go up. Listen to the advice, make chains of prayers, put into practice what you learn from the church, and trust in God by making constant sacrifices, and He will transform your life.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Do you have a skeleton or skeletons in your closet? Can people actually trust a word that you say? Can you trust anything that your partner says to you? Well, on tonight's topic, it is called Dishonesty and Double Lives. Are you leading two lives? Are you someone in front of your partner, your parents, your work colleagues, and in front of other people, you are someone completely different? Let's have a look at this video to describe more about tonight's topic.
Most people care about being moral and behaving ethically, and given their concern for good behaviour, people refrain from intentionally behaving in ways that violate their moral standards. When most individuals do something wrong, they will experience guilt. But for some, being dishonest becomes part of their normal everyday functioning. Some people may go as far as leading a double life, having one life at home with their partner or family, and then being someone totally different when they leave the house. Psychologists have studied dishonest behaviour and have found that people justify being dishonest by something referred to as moral disengagement. This is where people justify and distance themselves from their ethics. They persuade themselves that their questionable behaviour is actually okay. It has also been found that the excuses that some people make for their dishonest behaviour parallel the justifications that criminals make for their crimes. But what about the people they are hurting? just because you have convinced yourself that what you're doing is okay, other people will get hurt. So, isn't it about time that you stopped being dishonest?
So that's tonight's topic. And if you are this type of person, you are dishonest. You're leading a double life. You know, you have people who, during the day, they are John, right? John the banker. During the night, they are Susie, if you get what I'm saying, right? They're in the bar. They're a drag queen. They're doing something else. And sometimes their work colleagues don't know who they are at night. They're a prostitute, for example, in order to make ends meet. And, you know, that prostitute doesn't want to do what he or she does, yet they do it. You know, it's hidden from everyone because, you know, they feel ashamed for what they do. Maybe you are lying to your partner, lying to your parents, lying to people around you, and you are this totally different person. Maybe you're a secret alcoholic, right? You drink, you know, at night to forget your problems, to forget your pain. Maybe even drink during the day to hide your anger, your nervousness. You take a few drinks and then you have to brush your teeth, right, to hide or mask the alcoholic smell. I don't know what kind of life you are leading, but I'm sure, and you know, that you are not completely happy. So on tonight's program, we want to help you, right, to be honest now. There's no shame in speaking about what you're going through, right? And sometimes when we do things in secret, you know, you feel disgusted by it. And it only comes out when you are found out. I'm sure you don't want to be found out. It is better for you to come out and ask for help before it's too late. With me tonight, it's Victoria once again. Hi, Victoria.
Hiya.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, thanks.
The stats, as usual. You got any tonight?
Well, it's quite shocking, actually. So, according to recent statistics, leading a double life is not actually as uncommon or abnormal as people think. And this is quite shocking. 70% of males and 50% of females apparently will have an extramarital affair at some point over the course of their marriage. And this suggests actually that most people at some time in their lives will lead a double life. Mm-hmm. So psychologists refer to this behaviour as destructive duality. So basically people compartmentalise their lives. So they literally create two different selves. They could act in dramatically opposite ways. So lying can become a way of life, and it's very normal for people to have a public self and then a private self. But when they cross the line and act out their daydreams or fantasies, then this is really when families can be shattered, relationships broken, and people can lose their jobs or even, you know, take part in criminal behaviour. So being dishonest and leading a double life is extremely destructive, but actually could be more common than we think.
Yeah, one sign that you know that what you are doing, one side of your life is wrong or bad, not good for you, is when you do it in secret, as you mentioned, right? It's that teenager that locks him or herself in the room and is on the computer and they're watching things that they shouldn't actually watch, right? If it's such a bad thing, if it's not a bad thing, then why'd you do it locked away in the dark at night when everyone is asleep? Why not do it, you know, in front of your family? Because you know that it's wrong. Why do you hide that bottle of drink away in a store cupboard somewhere and you keep going to it now and again? So this is the double life or the dishonest life that a lot of people can have. And as I said, if you want help, then this program is an outlet. See it as a way that you can get help, or at least the first step to getting help. And you can contact us by various means, and Victoria is going to give us give you the contact details now.
So if you'd like to speak to us on the phone, our number is 020 7686 6300, or send us an email. Our email address is help@findinganswers.tv, or talk to us via social media. You can send us a tweet. Just start your tweet with @FindAnswersTV, or search for us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers.
So, my guest for tonight is a woman who didn't cheat, but her double life was to do with her mum and what she used to get up to. If you are having this double or dishonest life, and it's something if you compare it to my guest tonight, it could be a lot worse. It could be not so bad, but still you are unhappy in your skin. Then stay tuned, because after the break, we are going to meet our guest for this evening. All right? If you want to give us a call at any time, please feel free to do it. We have trained pastors ready and waiting to take your call. We'll see you after this.
Hi, the Chrissy B Show airs live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, coming to your homes with entertainment, life issues as well as hard-hitting topics, coupled with friendly and practical advice. I love to look at the happier side of life and believe a person can achieve amazing things when they put their mind to it. The Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life.
Are you a duck? What can it do? It swims. It walks. It flies. But does it do them all well? Yes, a duck can do all of the above, but it's not known for being great at any. So, are you a duck? Rather than attempting to do all things, why not be the best at one thing at a time? You will find you'll actually learn to be great at more things.
Ladies, it's lovely to have you in the studio with me. I'm rather excited.
Does character matter?
If you're married, you shouldn't be flirting with somebody else on that.
Forward and back, forward and back. Roll on the knee. Relationships and money, can the two really work?
Absolutely.
I think that appearance is important.
How do you define character?
Yeah.
And you want to have that perfect house, but you've got to realise everything happens at the right time.
I've got a friend who puts all her business on Facebook, and I just can't stand to read it.
You're learning already. Do you cook at home?
Yes, I cook.
Mr. Right is just right under your nose.
You get a checklist, but that checklist becomes a shopping list.
But in life, sometimes it's good to be different.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, tonight's topic is called Dishonesty and Double Lives. Let's meet our guest for tonight. Her name is Sandra Costa.
Push me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Sandra, welcome to the program.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Now, you didn't cheat with a partner or anything like that, but your deceptive life did get you into trouble, if I could say, or could have got you into really bad trouble. So tell us, what did you get up to?
So my mum saw me as her little sweet girl because I'm the youngest in the family. So to her, I was her little sweet angel, her little sweet princess, where in fact I wasn't. So when I was in secondary school, I would tell my mum, oh, I'm going to stay over at my friend's house, when instead I'll be going out clubbing, raving the lot. I'll be winding up on guys. Was
this in the early part of secondary school or in the latter stage?
This was in the early part. My first rave was when I was about, I think, 12 or 11. Right. That was my first age. So imagine a 12, 11-year-old, her mum thinks, oh my gosh, this is my angel. She's going to grow up, she's going to be this and she's going to be that. When instead, I was absolutely something else. I would say, oh, I'm going to my friend's house, but I wasn't at my friend's house. I'll be at a rave. My first rave, I was at 12, when I was 12 years old, up until 7 a.m. in the morning.
Really?
Yeah, so we were out from, I think it was like 12 to 7. And obviously imagine what it could have done to me, because obviously I'm young. Instead of being at home, doing my work, getting an early night, I was out partying.
Was that on a weeknight or at the weekend?
I can't remember, but I used to go all the time. So for me, I can't really remember. I used to always go raving clubs.
So when you would go out with other females?
Yeah, I would go out with my female friends.
And were they like 12?
Yeah, they were the same age as me. They were the same age as me. In fact, well, we went out with older people as well, way older people, but my friends were the same age as me, roughly the same age as me, yeah.
So you said you're 12 years old,
yeah.
You'd go to nightclubs.
Yeah.
Now, they weren't nightclubs for 12-year-olds.
No, the proper, like, you know.
So these were adults getting into clubs, and they would allow you in? Yeah,
because I looked older when I was younger.
Right.
I looked the part, if I could say. So, you know, they'll allow me in. I'd go in. When we were also with older people as well, it wasn't just all of us. We were with older people, and we would just dance all night.
And you mentioned, you mentioned whining on guys.
Yeah, I would whine on older guys, yeah.
At 12 years old?
Yeah, they used to pass me on in the club as well.
And these guys were what?
Older.
We're talking Harold-ish?
Maybe at the time 20-something, I think, maybe, yeah.
If a 20-year-old something guy knew he was dancing with a 12-year-old...
Yeah, no, it sounds a bit disgusting.
But as you said, the way you dressed, obviously you looked older. When you got out of that nightclub, 7 in the morning, where would you go? Would you go back home?
Yeah.
Would you stay at your friend's house and then, was it a sleepover?
Yeah. I would basically stay at my friend's house because the thing is, I told my mom that's where I was going. So I couldn't just go back home at 8 a.m. in the morning because then she'll ask, where have you been? Right. So it was like my own little plan. So I'd go back to my friend's house, sleep there, and then first thing in the morning, wake up and just go to my house. Right. So my mum wouldn't really expect anything. She wouldn't really think that I was out clubbing. She'll think, oh, I was with my friends. And what about your friend that you're staying over at? What did she say to her mum? Oh, her family were a bit easier than mine, so they knew. That you... Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah. So, you know, what other things did you get up to then? So, raves, clubs. So raves and clubs are obviously different. So I used to go to raves, and raves were the worst because there would always be a fight in the rave, always. And I wouldn't be involved in it. I would be there watching it. It was You're talking at someone's house? Or you're talking... In the raves, in the clubs, yeah. Yeah, so obviously there would be fights breaking out and stuff. And we would actually, it was really, really silly because we would follow, we were entertained by it. It was dangerous, but we were entertained by it. So we'll be next to it, we'll be around it. And obviously anything could have happened. What are we talking about here when you're talking about fights? Like big guys fighting, they'll come out of their cars and they'll just start bottles everywhere and they'll just start fighting. Big guys, they weren't our age. Right. There were guys that were maybe drug dealers or whatever, that would have a problem with someone in the rave that they've seen and a fight will break out. Now, were you said bottles, but were there anything like knives or guns? There was once where I didn't really see anything because I would, in the back of my mind, I thought, okay, Sandra, this is dangerous, you need to step back. So I wouldn't really see anything, but there was once when I was in the club, we heard that there was a gun in the club and everyone just literally went ballistics. So yeah. What about Sandra? This is dangerous. I better not go to these places ever again. That never crossed your mind? Just step back. It did all the time, but I always wanted to be around my friends. I liked the entertainment, I liked the attraction, I always wanted to be around them, I always wanted to do the things that they would do. So it did cross my mind, I'm not gonna lie, it did. I did think, you know, this is dangerous, I shouldn't be here, but I wanted the entertainment, I wanted to be around my friends.
Yeah. What else did you get up to? Was there anything else apart from the clubbing, the raves, and all these kind of things?
The raves were the main thing. I did obviously stay out a lot with my friends on the road. Wouldn't actually be in a house or anything, just on the streets, and they'll be, smoking weed and we'll just be hanging out literally. And my mum will think, again, I'm at my friend's house, but I'm not, I'm on the road. And when she used to call, I never used to answer her phone calls. We used to go to shisha bars. There was once we met like strange men on the roads. And
before you get into it, tell us, for those at home, what is a shisha bar?
So it's it's like a big pipe thing that just you smoke. It's like tobacco.
I think it's Turkish, right?
Yeah, it's like tobacco, but people think it's good for you, but really and truly it's not good for you. It's still got the same thing that cigarettes has into it, so it can still get you addicted. But obviously at the time we thought, oh, it's good because it's different flavours. But really and truly, it's not. It's damaging.
One of the guests we had on some weeks ago, he said that he would do that. He would go, but the tobacco is quite strong.
Yeah, it's strong.
It's a lot stronger
exactly.
than normal cigarettes.
And I was young at that age. Exactly.
So you would go and you would smoke.
Smoke it, yeah.
Right. But you thought there was nothing
we thought there was nothing wrong because they had different flavours. They had the apple, they had the strawberries. We thought it's just something. It's cool. It's something good. But in fact, it's not.
And how often would you go to these bars?
All the time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can't remember how many times, but it was a lot of times.
And what did you get out of it? What was it just something new to do? Were you bored? Just try out something new?
It was an entertainment thing. It was, I used to always follow my friends. That's the kind of person I was. It was never me saying, oh, let's go here. It was always my friends saying, let's go here. And I would just follow along. I would just tag along with them. So it was like, I was being influenced basically. Yeah. Not saying that they were wrong people, but I was being influenced because it wasn't really me, but I would just hang along for the entertainment.
Now, with regards to your mum, is it your mum, your dad?
My mum.
Just your mum?
Just my mum, yeah.
Okay. How was your upbringing? I mean, you said that she viewed you as her princess.
Yeah.
Didn't you think, what, my mum has brought me up good, she treated me well, what would happen if my mum found out? Or if anything happened to me and my mum finds out I'm dead, I was involved in something, or she didn't expect me to be in this place. Didn't you think about, the consequences?
I did, and that's why there was always a limit with me. I didn't go overboard. I would do those things, but I wouldn't go to the extreme of maybe like taking crack or drugs or whatever, because I knew if my mum finds out, that's it, I'm dead, I'm finished. So I would never go to the extreme of doing certain things that maybe the people that I hanged around with will do, because I always had at the back of my mind, my mum would literally be so upset with me. She would look at me and not being her princess anymore, or do you know what I mean? So I never went to that extreme of doing.
You mentioned something which I want to touch on now. You mentioned about you being a follower. Why were you a follower? Let's go back now. To where it all started. You used to follow your friends. Why did you feel that you had to follow the crowd?
When, growing up, I was not a lonely child, but I was the only child until when my brothers and sisters came from my country into the UK. It was only me and my mum, so I didn't have siblings. I had siblings, but not really. I didn't really have siblings. I always used to be in the house. I never used to really go out. So that, for me, stirred up a little boredness inside of me, where I wanted to do what people my age were doing. So that's where it all kicked off. That's where it all started. And I met my friend that I haven't seen from primary school for a really long time. And I met her, and then I just started going out with her friends. So it was like, I met her, I started going out with her friends. It wasn't really me, because I was the lonely child at home, and now I've met her, so I'm just following her. Right. That's basically how it started, yeah.
So there, when people get into this kind of lifestyle, either it's because something really bad happened to them, or as you mentioned, boredom, right? You just follow a group of friends, they just, everything starts out as fun, right? And that was your case. And
also insecurity as well. I was a very insecure person, so I wanted to escape out of that insecurity and just be like my friends. I always wanted to be like my friends, and that's where I started following.
What were you insecure about?
My looks, my height, my weight. I thought I was the most skinniest person, tallest person, ugliest person.
Really?
I would literally, if I looked at myself in the mirror, I wouldn't want to look at myself. I'd think this girl's so ugly. So
in your head, what was ugly about you?
Everything. Literally.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you were tall for your age at that time?
Yeah.
And you said you were fat?
No, really skinny.
Really slim?
Yeah.
Okay. So all of that in your head, and you found this to be like an escape?
Yeah, exactly.
Just to forget about things?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe what you're going through now, this double life, this deception that you are hiding from people close to you. Maybe you are deep into this now. You've gotten so deep, you see maybe that there's no return, right? I can't ever stop this now. I don't want to ever tell anyone. Or maybe what you're into now started off as fun, but now it's gotten yourself into trouble. Maybe with the law, maybe you've gotten into fights, maybe you've been in and out of prison. You know, you've hurt many people along the way. So it's no longer fun. It's kind of turned out to be an addiction. If you want help, if you want to break this cycle, and you don't want to hurt anyone, including yourself, then my advice to you is to please give us a call, because we would like to help you. We have guests on this program who have been helped through advice, through prayer, through a simple one-to-one over the phone even. And if you want help, if you don't want to live this deceptive life anymore, if you want to stop hurting people around you, then my advice is pick up the phone if you wish. Give us a call. You can remain anonymous. Don't have to give your real name, but as long as you talk and you want that first step, you want to take that first step to change. All right, the number's on the screen now. It's 0207 686 6300. After the break, you're going to hear how Sandra, how her life could have ended up. We're going to hear the worst moments that happened to her while deceiving her mum. But also, you're going to hear how her life changed. All right? We'll see you after this break.
The pursuit of happiness. What will make you happy? Success? Fame? New shoes? Financial security? Love? Education? Independence? Family? Sometimes in the pursuit of things we think will bring us happiness, sometimes we fail to see that we aren't happy, or we never find it. We live in a world of people. Rather than pursue things to make you happy, what if we all worked to make each other happy? Wouldn't we all be happier? Welcome to your help centre, conveniently located right here in the heart of Finsbury Park. Open 7 days a week with 4 services daily. There's surely something for everyone. No matter what time of day, there will always be a spiritual advisor on hand ready to speak to you. Or call our 24-hour helpline, your place to open up at any time of the day. If you're looking for motivational advice, a listening ear, or maybe just a prayer to put your mind at ease, then feel free to come in. No problem is too complex, so don't be dismayed. In fact, we have daily sessions that can tackle issues related to every area of your life, from the inside out. There's no appointment necessary, so you're welcome. And what's more, all the services we offer are all completely free. We offer practical, non-judgmental advice and motivational meetings that will give you the encouragement that you've been looking for. Also, if you're looking for special gifts or an inspirational read, then why not visit our bookshop? We have a comprehensive range of books and gifts at great prices. We also offer free childcare facilities during all of our meetings. So if you have little ones, let us take them off your hands. And for teens and youths, express your singing, dance and drama talent right here in our youth group. Proudly one of the biggest youth groups in the UK. If you need our support, you will find it. From the training centre that offers low-cost courses in media, business and language, to support groups for single parents, the elderly and the abused, free, confidential help is available. We work hard to provide for all your needs, from the inside out. Helping people is what drives us. So you're welcome.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight our topic is dishonesty and double lives. So let's go to the streets of London to see what the general public have to say on this topic.
Definitely depression is probably number one.
They're arguing and they're talking negatively about each other.
What is more valuable than another? And so
you can have as many friends and family as you want. It just depends.
Is a common regret, like, oh, like I should have like asked that person out, or like.
Hi, I'm Chika here on the streets of London for Finding Answers. Tonight's topic is dishonesty and double lives. Why do people do it? Why do people lie? Why are they dishonest? We don't know, but I'm going to be asking the general public, do they believe that honesty is the best policy? Let's see what they say. Honesty is the best policy. Do you agree, and why?
Yeah, I do agree. I think honesty is what you look for in people. It builds trust, and trust is a really important factor in all relationships. So yeah, that's pretty much it really.
Yeah, I agree in general, yeah. But sometimes in this world, you know, honesty doesn't carry it. But yeah, basically, yeah, honesty would be the best thing.
I think it's always best that you're honest with yourself and with other people, because I guess like if you don't tell the truth later on, somehow it will always catch up and work against you really. So yeah, you always have to be careful. So I think it's always best to be honest, no matter what the consequences are. You know, at the time it might be difficult, but then later on, if you don't tell the truth, it might become like a bigger lie or something.
I think sometimes, but like it's situational, because sometimes you want to tell a white lie to make somebody feel better, but you don't want to lie through your teeth. Just like saying someone looks good in something is fine, but not so much telling them to buy something when you know it's disgusting.
Yeah. I'd be pretty much the same. Honesty when it matters, like when it's a big thing, when it's something important. But like, yeah, if they look awful, but you know, tell them they look great, it's fine. Yeah, exactly. You know, white lies, it's fine.
Yes, because if you haven't got honesty in your life, then what's the point? you've got to be honest with people. You know, everyone makes mistakes, but you've got to own up to those mistakes. And that happens, then, you know, you just got to get on with it.
Something interesting that someone said, which I will highlight a bit later on. Now, back to Sandra. Hi, welcome back. So, Sandra, I want to ask you, what was in everything that you mentioned before the break, did you face any kind of situation where, you know what, this is serious?
Yeah, I did. It was one of the episodes where I went to a rave. It was actually the after club of Carnival. So I was there with my friends, just dancing as usual as every single rave that we go to. And then there was a guy that came up to me and he was dancing on me. So I was obviously dancing with him. And then he started to touch me in inappropriate places. So I started to get a bit scared. And the worst thing was I looked over to my friends to get their attention and they didn't even care. They were just carrying on dancing, having a good time. And I thought, my God, I'm here. You guys don't care. This guy's touching me in inappropriate places and telling me to come to his room with him, to his house or whatever. And they weren't even doing anything. You know, I wanted to move away. I couldn't move away from this guy. He was like, he had his hands on me. And I was obviously getting really scared because I was still young at that time. I was still in,
I was going to ask you, how old were you at the time?
I was in secondary school, so maybe 15, 14, something like that. And obviously the guy looked really older and I was scared. My friends didn't help me, but thankfully I kind of got away. And that for me was just not on, because he could have done anything to me if he dragged me, if I didn't try to like sweep away from him, and because he was drunk as well. So if I didn't try to sweep away from him the way I did, it would have been another story, another thing.
So what did you think in that moment? Did you think, you know what, I wish I could be at home in the safety of my room now? Did you ever think that?
Always. Every time when I went club with my friends, I would always think that day. It wasn't like a day that I didn't think that. Even that particular day, there was so much things that happened in Carnival there was just so much things that happened. So already I wanted to go home. And when that was happening, of course I wanted to go home. I wanted to be out of that situation. I didn't like the situation. Obviously, I used to give myself to guys, but in that situation, it was a bit like, it wasn't me giving, it was him trying to take. So it wasn't, it wasn't nice.
Was there any other instance that took place where you felt your life was in danger?
Yeah, there was one thing that happened where me and my friends, we were having this whole sleepover thing, and again, I was very, very young, and we were drinking alcohol. I was really upset because the guy that obviously I was seeing wasn't there, so I was wondering, where is he? What is he doing? Where is he? You know, he should be here. And I started to mix vodka and Baileys together, and I just got completely out of it, where my friends didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to help me. They had to call their alcoholic auntie to try and figure me out, try to sort me out, and even she couldn't. And I couldn't even remember half of the things that were happening, so that's how bad it was. And I was so young at that age as well. Imagine what it could have done to my insides internally. So yeah, those two episodes for me were my absolute boiling point.
Right, okay. Your life has turned around now.
Yeah,
You've
definitely.
changed,
Yeah.
right? Tell us, how did you find change?
Well, my friend at college, he was going to a youth group, so he invited me along with him. And then I started going to the youth group, and it was amazing because everyone just acted differently to what I was used to. Everyone didn't expect anything from me. They just wanted to be there for me. So
what kind of youth group was this place?
It was a church youth group. So it was one that motivated you. It was one that passed on faith, words of inspiration, words of motivation all the time. So for me, that was really new, because I didn't really have words of faith and words of motivation all the time, inspiring words, trying to motivate me. So for me, that was something new. That was something different.
So seeing those, you know, this different set of young people in this youth group, you compare it to the friends that you were clubbing with. Did you say, well, this group is boring, or this is exactly what I need? I need positive young people like this around me. What did you think?
That was exactly what I needed, because when I was doing the things that I used to do at that age, I felt trapped. I didn't want to do it. I just did it. Like I said, I was insecure. I wanted to be a certain way. I wanted to be like certain people. But then coming to the youth group, it wasn't like that. It was something different. It was something fresh. They just kept on inspiring me and motivating me. That's who I wanted to be, and I could be myself. I didn't have to be anyone else.
What kind of things did they do in that youth group?
So they would, you know, so we would make events. There was events that used to happen in youth group and I used to take part in. So obviously that got me, it was like a twist from raving to having events, outings, classes of inspiration, classes of motivation.
Right.
Even one of the ladies in the youth group really helped me to the point where I passed everything in college. I was failing in college.
Really?
Really failing in college. I was, as you know, of course, I came out from that kind of lifestyle. So into college, I was the same. That kind of not wanting to listen to anything, not wanting to do anything. But from going to the youth group, because of all the motivational words that was said, I was able to get distinctions in college, which was obviously the highest grade.
How did she help you, this lady? What did she do to help you?
She spoke to me, like really spoke to me. She listened to the things that I was going through. She listened to the things that I had inside, the problems I had inside, because, you know, I would do the things I used to do, but deep down inside, I wasn't happy. So she would understand that. She would, you know, allow me to see that I can move on from that. And she just kept on inspiring me to Sandra, you can be better, you can be someone. If you just do this and this and this, you're going to achieve this and this and this. And that's exactly what I did.
So we can say that there were two kind of Sandras. There's the one that would go out and club and rave and do whatever to escape. But then there was the other Sandra that didn't like that, that wanted to change.
Exactly. Right? That was me completely inside that. That's how I was. I would do it, but it wasn't me. I wanted to change. I wanted to break free from it.
You mentioned that the youth group, this youth group had, it was affiliated to a church, right? How much did prayer, how much was prayer involved in your change as well?
90%, 100% I could say.
Yeah? How? You know, for this parent watching now who's, you know, concerned about their child, or maybe this teen who's watching and wants to know, how can prayer, how can church, how can a youth group help?
Because sometimes you don't know who to speak to, you don't know how to speak, but then obviously they teach you, you can pray, you can speak to God. So obviously that's what I did, and sometimes you can just pour out things that you wouldn't pour out to someone else, you wouldn't say to someone else, and that would give you peace inside, that will calm you, that will make you think, okay, there is a way out, there is something that I can be, there is something I can be better at. So it was that kind of teaching. There was a lot of course, advice given, counselling given, which was really good, which was really nice. I could just sit down, I could just speak and just be told, you know, prayer helps, prayer works, this is what you can do, and that was the kind of help that I received.
Okay. And how is Sandra today?
I'm a completely new person. I don't do the things that I used to do. From listening as well, I wanted to mention, is from listening to different stories in the church as well, that's what also motivated me to becoming who I wanted to become and who I am today. So I'm a completely different person. I don't...
When you say stories, you mean other people's lives who've been changed?
Yeah, exactly. They would always give their stories and I would hear it and I would think, oh my gosh, if she was able to become who she is, then I can be able to become who I want to be in life. And that's exactly what I've done and what I've become now.
So, no more lying to your mum?
No.
No more, no, it's double life, right?
No.
You know, what are you doing in life today?
So I am working, I graduated from university last year. And yeah, just looking forward. I've got married as well. So married, working, graduated from university, and just keep on progressing in my life.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
Now, if you are, as Sandra was, this is you today. You do things, but you don't like to do them. But you've gotten so far into it, you don't know how to turn your life around. Then, after the break, we will be saying, as usual, a prayer for you. Sandra received prayer, along with practical advice. And if you are a teen, male or female, if you are a parent concerned for your child, or if you are someone else and you are leading this double life, and you feel that Sandra's story will be able to help you, right? Then you can give us a call now as I go for the break. And if you want to talk to Sandra, personally, you want to talk to her, then she's going to go off. She's going to be by the phones. If you want to speak to her about how her life changed, the type of things that she heard, what she did, then you can do so. All right? When we come back from the break, as usual, we'll be going for the prayer. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, just before the break, we spoke to Sharon, who was telling us about her story. Now, if you are in need, if you would like help, if you feel as though you are trapped, you feel as though my life is stuck, I can't move forward, I can't, seem to break free from this problem that I'm going through. Actually, what I do, I'm not happy. I'm not happy doing this thing. I'm not happy, following the crowd, following my friends, my so-called friends. I'm not happy living this double lifestyle. I want to be me. I want me back. I want to be, who I am. I want to put on this mask, put on this front, and pretend to be someone completely different. Well, guess what? It's possible. You can be yourself again. And actually, not just yourself, but someone much better. And that someone can be achieved, the person that you want to be. Like our guests on this program. They go through problems, yes. They face difficulties, yes they do. But one thing that they have with them is now faith. Faith that they didn't have before, to achieve or overcome any problem or obstacle that comes their way. And that faith comes in God. It is God that empowers people, that helps them to move forward in life. And this same God, this God in the Bible, this is not a historical God. It's not some fairy tale, right? These are real lives being changed by a real God. And maybe you think there's a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, but tell me, if you're watching this program now, you happen to flick channels, you're watching this program, and this topic relates to you, what have you done to change your life? What have you done to try to come out of this double lifestyle and be who you are? Maybe you've tried, but you failed. But there are, many stories of people who have done it. They didn't do it by themselves. They did it with God's help. And now I want to pray for you. This is the time for you, if you say, I'm fed up with who I am, what this problem, this situation has changed me into, I want to be different, then it's now time for prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer concerning your financial life, send your name and a prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My Lord and my God, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I present to you this viewer, this person who has been down. They feel empty. They don't feel themselves anymore because they are doing things that they are ashamed of. They're doing things behind people's back. They're leading a double life, a secret life, my God. And it's one where people who have had this type of lifestyle before have ended up in hospital, ended up taking their own lives, ending up miserable. My God, when you see people like this, I believe that you feel pain. When we watch people suffering on TV, and then they tell their story, and then they cry in front of that camera, and say, I wish I wouldn't have this life. I wish my life could change. Sometimes we feel that person's pain. Sometimes we wish that we could jump into that TV screen and tell that person there is a way out. We wish we could change that person's life. And if we feel that pain, I can imagine how you feel. But even if we could speak to that person, we can't force them to change. It is up to that individual. And my God, you are not going to force your way into anyone's life. But you can only react when this person takes the first step. So my God, this person who may be crying now, touched by tonight's story, touched because they want to be different, I ask you, Father, to bless this person. Bless this viewer who knows that every night we pray with this glass of water. So may you consecrate this glass of water now. And when they will drink it, my God, that empty feeling, that loneliness, this hurt or pain inside of them, remove it right now. As I speak, my Lord, your presence is there with this person. Take away this hurt and help them to be sincere now, to be honest with themselves, my God, and not to lie anymore, but from now on to tell the truth. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, drink this water and may God help you. May God give you that internal strength to make your decision to change your life. In Jesus' name. So, there you have it. Listen, I want to leave with this. There's a gentleman on one of our street interviews that said, when you lie, when you keep on lying, you tend to have to cover up those lies with other lies. So the best time to start this change is now. Start telling the truth. Start talking about what you're going through. Don't hide this anymore. Let it all out. Be sincere. Be transparent. Be see-through, right? Don't pretend to be someone else that you are really not. Remove the mask and tell everyone, look, this is who I am. Tell God, this is what God wants to hear from you, that I am this weak person. I am this person in pain, and God, I need your help. These are the best words that you can say to God, a sincere one. Tell him your hurt, tell him your pain, but he will be there to hear and answer your prayer. All All right? Remember, God is not this vengeful, evil God that's far away, that punishes people. He's a loving God. He's a loving Father. So say this prayer tonight. Say it after this program. And I guarantee you, if you do it with all sincerity and you really want to change, He will help you. Okay? You may not see it tonight, but be sure you will see it. Until the next time, have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.